everybody, I'm Grimm from the Bug Out Boys, and welcome to a special bot, because this is a two-part bot. And this bot is titled Tap Your Gear. Now, what does TAP stand for? It stands for Test and Practice. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about it and show you some ways that you can test your gear before you actually have to use it out in the wilderness. Now, right next to me, I have some examples of some gear that I pulled out of my bug out bag that I hope stimulates your mind in thinking on what gear you want to tap, test, and practice with from your bug out bag. First, I have some gloves here. Now, I'm using these gloves as a representation of your clothing, your layering system, your base layer, mid layer, outer layer, your system that you have come up with that best suits your environment wherever it may be, or what season. Well, put those on. Test them out. Test them out while being active. Test them out while being sedentary. And you can do it right on your back porch or right down your road. It doesn't matter. That way, if you find out that you're getting a little too cold or a little too overheated, you can quickly grab some water from your house or get warm again, and it's safe. This also applies to your rain gear, which now I will show you how you can test your rain gear even when it's not raining. Now, I know it might seem silly, but this is a good way to test out your rain gear, see if it's actually waterproof. I happen to know that this jacket really is cool, but if you don't have a lot of rain, or if you're unsure, this would be a good way to go. Next, we'll move over to this headlamp. Now, it could be a flashlight, doesn't matter. We already know that you should always check the batteries before you go out. Make sure they're fully charged. I went over that during the 3 Use bot. I'll leave a link right there in case you want to check that out. But what I'm talking about is the actual performance of your flashlight or headlamp. Go out there and see what that lumen number really means, whether it's 1, 100, 500. Because it's just a number to you right now. Until you get out there and find out what your headlamp or flashlight can do for you in a very dark environment, you're not going to know. It might have the wrong beam pattern, it might be too bright, or it might not be bright enough. So go out there and test out your headlamps and your flashlights and actually see what they can do for you in those situations. Now here I have my new air mattress. Now this is representing or for me, it's representing my shelter. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and I'm going to show you what you should do when testing out your shelter, your sleeping bag, your whole sleeping system. Alright, so I'm going to test out my winter bug out gear. So quickly, while it's still snowing, a little bit of a blizzard, I am going to set up my gear. Alright, so I got the hammock strung up. Take note, it takes a little bit longer with gloves. I now have a pad, new pad. I did not have this on the last cold bug out. This is a Thermarest. It's got a pretty high R rating, so I want to see what it does, because that was a crucial piece of gear that I was missing on the last cold weather. I didn't have any insulation underneath of me, and so this is part of the test as well. If this really helps out in a cold weather situation, so that's it. What you will also see is that I'm using an air filler bag to fill up my air mattress instead of my mouth. I'm doing this for 2 reasons. One, I don't want the moist air of my breath getting inside the baffles of my air mattress. 2, when I did this before, trying to use the breath from my mouth, I got really lightheaded before I even got remotely close to filling that bag. So, and that was just inside my house, let alone after carrying 40 pounds of gear up a mountainside or being very dehydrated or starving. So I use the air bag that came with it. Alright, so now I'm putting in my sleeping bag that I had from the last winter bug out. It's very old, like I said before, so I don't know if its rating has dropped in a long time, so this is going to be a good test. But also remember, really fluff, because typically your sleeping bag, as is mine right now, is going to be compressed. So you want to really fluff and loft your sleeping bag. Make it easy to get into as well. Alright, so I put up the Rainfly to give me a little bit of added protection because the snow is blowing in here, which is fine. Just kind of adds to the whole test. It is cold. I believe last time I checked it's about 21 degrees. Could drop down even lower. We'll see. Got the shell off. Shell is underneath. Don't need that while I'm sleeping. And it's just time to get in there, get the boots off, and try and get warm and make it through the night. So, see you in the morning. It snowed throughout the entire night. I stayed warm. Little spots were a little cooler than others, but this is the importance of gear testing. It's only 25 degrees now, so it definitely didn't get any warmer throughout the night. Finally, we'll move over to this piece of gear, and it is just a simple ferro rod. Now, I happen to be a huge fan of Survivor Man, and I recently watched an episode where a person had won a competition to go on the show with him. And a part of his gear had a ferro rod attached. And while he was trying to make fire, he was striking and scraping the ferro rod with a rock. And we should all know that that's not how a ferro rod works. It is not flint and steel. It works with the scraper that came with it, your knife edge. It probably would work with a bottle cap or any piece of scrap metal lying about. But I feel that that is a huge example of why you should tap your gear. Because if he had done so, he would have known that, and he would have had fire a whole lot sooner. So, I hope you've enjoyed this bot. I hope you found this bot informative. I hope it's gotten your creative juices flowing and thinking on how you can test out your gear not out in the environment, in a controlled, safe environment. And please do not hesitate to subscribe, because there will be more Bug Out Boy episodes on the way, as well as bots, including the second part of this one. And please do comment below. I really enjoy reading your comments, getting back to you, discussing on what are the things that we should tap, what other pieces of gear or anything. So, have a great day.